Day 331 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 2085, count common words with one occurrence. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go on and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given two string arrays, word 1 and word 2, return the number of strings that appear exactly once in each of the two arrays. All right, y'all, that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just so we can make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have the input words 1 equals an array of strings, LeetCode is, amazing as is, and word 2 is also an array of strings, amazing LeetCode is. The output is 2. Explanation says LeetCode appears exactly once in each of the two arrays, we count this string. Amazing appears exactly once in each of the two arrays, we count this string. Is appears in each of the two arrays, but there are two occurrences of it in words 1, we do not count this string. As appears once in words 1, but does not appear in words 2, we do not count this string. Thus, there are two strings that appear exactly once in each of the two arrays, y'all. So let's go ahead and go through this just so we can make sure we understand it, right? So in words 1, we have this an array of strings, and as you can see, LeetCode appears one time in this whole array of strings. Then we check words 2 to see if words 2 contains LeetCode, and it does, and it also appears exactly once in this whole array, right? So we could count LeetCode. Then we come down, we could check is. Now is does not appear exactly once in this words 1 array. Is appears twice. It appears right here and it appears right here. And since it appears twice, even though it's in both arrays, since it appears twice in this array, we do not count it because we want words that appear exactly once in each of the two arrays. And is does not fit that requirement because it appears twice in this words 1 array. So then we keep coming, keep moving down. Now we're on amazing. Amazing appears exactly once in this words 1 array, and it appears exactly once in this words 2 array. So we can count amazing because it appears once in each of the arrays, right? It's only in this array once, and amazing only appears in this array once, so we can count it. Then we come down to as. As appears exactly once in words 1, but it doesn't appear at all in words 2. Since words 2 does not contain as, we can't count as because it only appears once in one of the arrays. We want it to appear once in both of the arrays. And is, once again, we already know we can't use it because it appears twice in the first words 1 array. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 2 just to really make sure that we're making this make sense. It's the same principle though. So in words 1, we have the array of strings B, BB, and BBB. In words 2, we have the array of strings A, AA, and AAA. The output is 0 because there are no strings that appear in each of the two arrays. As you can see, this words 1 contains all words with B. We just increment B's, and the same thing with words 2. It appears with A, and we kind of increment the A's. And since there's no matching strings in either one of these arrays, then we could return 0 because there are no strings that appear exactly once in keyword both of the arrays. None of these strings appear once in both of the arrays, so we can return 0. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 3. In example 3, we have the input words 1 equals a array of strings, first string being A, second string being AB. Words 2 also is an array of strings with the first string being A, the second string being A, third string being A, and the last string being AB. Output is 1 because the only string that appears exactly once in each of the two arrays is AB. So in example 3 is similar to how example 1 was, right? So in example 3, we have an A right here and the AB right here. but we have three A's right here. So since we have three A's in words 2, we cannot use A because we want words or strings that only appear exactly once. And in words 2, A appears 3 times, so we can't use it. However, we can count AB because AB only appears once in words 1, and it also only appears once in words 2. So we can count AB since it appears exactly once in both of the two arrays, and that means there's only one string that appears exactly once in both of the two arrays, so we will return 1. Now, I hope that made sense to y'all, and now that we have gotten through the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution's not that difficult at all, and today we are going to use a dictionary. We're going to brush up on our dictionary fundamentals to answer this problem, so let's get into it. Now, first thing we need to do is we need to create a dictionary to store the word frequency from words 1 and words 2. So in order to do that, we could just create our dictionary by saying, we could say var dict1. We could set that equal to in a dictionary with the key being a string. Then we'll say colon. The value will be an integer. Boom. Come outside, initialize it with 2 parentheses like that. Then we do the same thing for, we need 2 dictionaries, one for words 1 and one for words 2. So we can call the second one dict2. Do the same thing, set that equal to a dictionary with the key being a string and the value being an integer as well, and initialize it like that with the 2 parentheses at the end. Now we need to populate each of the dictionaries with the frequency of each word. So once again, the string is going to represent the word, and this int is going to represent how many times that word appears. So we need to populate these dictionaries, and we could do that by saying for word in words 1, we're going to open up the bracket. We can say dict1 square bracket word, comma, default colon 0, come outside of the square bracket, say plus equals 1. So each time we see this word, we're going to have a default value set to 0. So, but each time we see this word, we're going to add 1 to this default value, and that's going to keep counting of how many times we see this word. Then we need to do the same thing. That's words 1. We need to do the same thing for words 2. So we can say for word in words 2, we need to do the same thing so we can keep track of or keep count of how many times the word appears. So we can say dict2 square bracket word, comma, default colon 0, come outside the square bracket, plus equals 1. Boom. Now we need to iterate through dict1 to count the words that appear exactly once in both of the lists. So in order to do that, we could say for, then open up the parentheses, say key, comma, value. Come outside of the parentheses, we'll say and dict1. Then we'll open up the brackets, and we are going to say if value equals 1, comma, dict2 square bracket key equals 1. This is going to check if the word appears exactly once in both of the dictionaries. Then we could open up the brackets, and we could just say count. Oh, sorry. We actually need to declare or create a counter to keep track of the words that appear exactly once. So we could come up here, the variable called count, and set that equal to 0. Now we could come right here, and we could say count plus equals 1. So every time that a word appears exactly once in both dictionaries, which is what this is going to check, then we can increment our count by saying count plus equals 1. Then we just have to come right here outside of the for loop and say and return the count. Boom. That's simple, y'all. Let's go ahead and give it a run. Make sure it runs properly before we submit it. Let's see, y'all. Ooh, and it's accepted first try. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it stays accepted after we submit it. Ooh, y'all, look at that. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users with Swift. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the numbers I like to see. So before we leave, make sure y'all get one more look at the code. This is the top half. This is the rest of it, the bottom half. And yeah, with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.